On the Shade Room, it says his adoptive daughter recently hopped on live to defend her mother, following backlash from a recent interview discussing Boss's drug addiction. Holker received backlash not just from social media, but from Boss's family as well, following her remarks in her interviews. So let's hear what the daughter has to say. His stepdaughter.
I don't know. And I'm trying to be respectful, but I just think it's complicated because I speak to Steven's moms. Like my mom and her were speaking weekly at some point. And I don't know if it's still like that. Like me and my mom haven't talked about it. But since Steven died, I feel like I've seen his family more than when he was alive. We would only see them once or twice a year, but you guys have to understand that it's because they live in another state. Like, and things happen. Like we literally live in another state, and it's not like we're neighbors. It's not like we could just see them whenever we wanted. And now, like, my mom's constantly making the effort so that the kids are a part of, or not the kids are a part of their, wait, I was about to mess up my words. So the kids are a part of their lives. And my mom's, these are all people that I've grown up with. And to see them now act different for social media, it's like, I don't know. And I'm trying to be respectful, but I just think it's complicated because I speak to Steven's moms. Like my mom and her were speaking weekly at some point. And I don't know if it's still like that. Like me and my mom haven't talked about it, but since Steven died, I feel like I've seen his family more than when he was alive. We would only see them once or twice a year, but you guys have to understand that it's because they live in another state. Like, and things happen. Like we literally live in another state, and it's not like we're neighbors. It's not like we could just see them whenever we wanted. And now, like, my mom's constantly making the effort so that the kids are a part of, or not the kids are a part of their.
Why don't you talk about how her relationship was with Steven? Because I don't know if they had a good relationship. Was she an obedient? Was she a respectful stepdaughter? Because she keeps referencing the kids, she keeps referencing Steven, the kids, like she is a 20-something-year-old woman. And I think she's what, 17? Right? I have to go back to look. I need to know, when did she get into his life? Because let's say she had her father in her life when he came into hit their lives. I wouldn't say that she needs to call him dad, but the way she's talking right now, it's given off that they didn't have that close of a relationship.
Wait, I was about to
And
mess up my
she's
words.
stupid. She sounds really stupid. So she has come on here and embarrassed herself and further embarrassed her mother.
So the kids are a part of their lives. And my mom's, these are all people that I've grown up with. And to see them now act different for social media, it's like.
Oh, someone says that he adopted her at 3 years old, but he's Steven. Yeah, if he's been in your life for that long, he should be a dad or something closer than Steven. That is a weird way to reference the father's role, the father who's been in your life since you've been 3. You're now what, 17? And it's Steven and the kids. And so I'm glad she's out, she's talking, because guess what? This shows us the exact relationship that they really had in that household. Because in this picture looking at it, it shows a family knit view, gives a family knit, close together family, but the way she's talking, that is letting us know that they really did not have that close knit of a family.
I don't know. And I'm trying to be respectful, but I just think it's complicated because I speak to Steven's moms. Like my mom and her were speaking weekly at some point. And I don't know if it's still like that. Like, me and my mom haven't talked about it, but since Steven died, I feel like I've seen his family more than when he was alive. We would only see them once or twice a year, but you guys have to understand that it's because they live in another state. Like, and things happen. Like, we literally live in another state, and it's not like we're neighbors. It's not like we could just see them whenever we wanted. And now, like, my mom's constantly making the effort so that the kids are a part of, or not the kids are a part of their, wait, I was about to mess up my words. So the kids are a part of their lives. And my mom's, these are all people that I've grown up with. And to see them now act different for social media, but that's just how I am. I feel disrespected by them, so I'm not going to talk to them. There were points where, like, the brothers would reach out to me, like my uncles and Connie, they'd be texting me, but I don't talk to them anymore. I feel completely just.
So you grew up with the dad from 3, but you don't talk to his family anymore. And she is saying she feels disrespected because they are accusing the mom of, let me see, I have an article there. They're disrespecting the mom. Yeah, she feels disrespectful by the family members of Boss, right? His mom, his sister, which is supposed to be her aunts and uncles if she's adopted, right? Right. She said they've gone on social media saying that blood's thicker than water. And that's a direct dig at me and my mom. She said, no, that's not a dig at you and your mom. That's the truth. Blood is thicker than water. That means because the family had to sign an NDA at his funeral, which was not supposed to even be the case because they are a family. They are a blood family, right? They had more right to be able to take a picture if the mom wants to take a picture, if the brother wants to take a picture, if the sister wants to take a picture. They had more right to take a picture than you and his mother.
Disrespected. They've gone on social media saying that blood's thicker than whatever, and that's a direct dig at me and my mom. And if you don't see me as Steven's daughter, that's cool. That's like taking.
You don't see yourself as Steven's daughter. You said Steven's daughter. Who calls? Okay.
How you want that. I know for a fact that's never how he saw it, and it's literally just hurtful. Effort. I don't make the effort. Y'all love to argue about the NDAs. Basically, not backstory, because like that's what the whole story is, but in one day we had.
So if she's 17 now, back then, so 22, she'll be what? She was like 15.
An open casket like viewing for Steven. We had a funeral, and then we had a wake. And my mom asked for NDAs to be signed when we were seeing Steven's body, because God forbid somebody that went to that took a photo of Steven and put it on the internet, or shared it with somebody else. That's the type of things that NDAs are for. It's not so you can never talk about Steven. You can't ever talk about.
Yeah, but why would you make the mom sign NDA? You said just in case somebody take a picture. And so you're saying that they were going to take a picture. It's likely than not that they take a picture and they were going to release it. So you don't trust the mom, you don't trust the brothers, you don't trust the sisters to take a picture of their brother, son, and keep it for their own use. And you have this kid coming out to talk about it. So this kid knew more of what was going on than his mother.
You grieving him, you can't post about it. That's not what it is. And for all the people saying it, I just feel like you're uneducated. I'm sorry, but like truly, I'm fed up because NDAs are so important. And if you guys don't agree, that's cool. I'm grateful for my mom making sure that everybody signed NDAs. Y'all love to argue about the NDAs. That whole day was supposed to be beautiful, and instead it was less than that. Like, it's we were gonna say our goodbyes, and instead people were yelling at each other and bashing my mom, and like that's a day that's taken away from her, and she can't remember it as being the day that we all wanted it to be because his family was making it otherwise. And like when I say that this day, like it's imprinted onto my brain. Like one, because I had to say goodbye to the person that I loved and valued, but then on top of that, I'm having to deal with seeing my mom go through so much. Like it's a different type of hurt because these are people that we're supposed to love and value, and yet they're
Because their son just died unexpectedly. The family probably know the issues that was going on behind closed door because of course, the dad, their son, is probably gonna talk to his mom, let his mom know the struggles he's actually going through. So when he finally took his life, my opinion, I'm thinking that's where all the anger came from with the mom.
constantly doing things that make me see them as like less. Like they're the ones impacting that image. And but they're also the ones taking onto social media. So I just don't get it because my that whole day
Of course, they gotta come on social media and rebut what the wife said, what your mom said. So you want your mom to paint the narrative that their son, their brother, their is a druggie, whatever, whatever, and don't say anything, just go with it. So now they've come out and said, no, that's not my son. That's not who he is. You're defaming his name. You need to stop. They're wrong.
I don't know where it started, but I'm constantly getting comments being like, your mom didn't let Connie see the body for 3 weeks and something like that. But it's like everybody who wanted to see the body had access to that information. My mom didn't want to. My mom, she stayed out of that. My mom didn't want anything to do because that's a traumatizing thing. And so somebody else had that information to go and see Steven's body from after he died until he was like, like they fixed up how he looked and stuff. But until that point, I remember like conversations being had of like Connie asking about it, but then everybody
Who is Connie? Oh, Connie is Steven's mom. Okay.
literally everybody being like advising against it because that's your son, you might not want to go see him. But with that all being said, she could have completely on her own terms gone and seen him. My mom wasn't withholding information. I don't know where it started, but my mom never said that Steven was an addict. Let me say that. Never said that he was an addict. But if y'all want to take a headline for a news article and turn that into being the thing that you're paying attention to most, that's literally on you, right? But
why would a mom come out and say she's found drugs in the closet? She's found things that she's never expected to find. All bad things. What is that implying? Is the implication? Why would you say that if it doesn't even apply?
But in our house, how he ran things, like I'm his kid. He was trying to like teach me, and
he tried and failed. That's what she's saying. She's trying to get her words straight so it doesn't come out to show how disrespectful she was to him. He tried to train you, he tried to imply, he tried to enforce rules and regulation in that house, and he failed.
Educate, like obviously, like be that fatherly role.
He tried to be that fatherly role. Okay.
Right. So he'd be open and vulnerable about him smoking weed. Also, my mom's not calling him a terrible person for smoking weed. Like,
weed wasn't what she said she found. Did she say she find weed? I gotta go back.
Guys, let's get it together. But when you have 2 years after somebody committed suicide to sit here and question every interaction you had, every single thing they did, obviously my mom's like, maybe I should have paid more attention.
She's already moved on. She is in a relationship with someone else. What is she thinking about? She had about a few months after his death to really think about the stuff, to go through the closet, all that stuff, which she did, and now she's coming out. So she's already in a relationship. As I've heard, two relationships. So why now you're coming out with is your new man don't care that you've been spending time thinking about your ex, or is he sitting down there with you also coming up with ideas?
And two, my mom never said that Steven was an addict. Let me say that.
Okay, Twitch's cousins speak out against Allison Holker. She says, yeah, I don't give a F about the NDA. This crazy woman made me and his actual family, including, sign an NDA just to even attend the funeral. She's been trying to tarnish his legacy and refuses to let the boss family see the children, only to exploit and lie on my cousin. Hell to the no. So, like I said before, Stephen was probably telling his mom and his family secretly stuff that he was going through with this family, with his wife and stuff. So even though they were trying to show a united front in the public eye, posting and smiling, all that good stuff, he was probably actually going through some stuff. So when he actually committed, took his own life, and that's why the family were really upset because they knew something else that we don't know, that the public did not know. And now she's coming out trying to save face, because I know when that story came out, when it was discovered that he committed suicide, a lot of people were talking about maybe she's the one to blame. Maybe she did something, said something to the guy that made him commit suicide. So now she's coming out to try to change the narrative, try to say that he had mental problems, he had so much issues he was dealing with, and he didn't talk to her, he went to drugs. That's what she's saying, which makes no sense to me. Okay, some of the comments. People said, Black men find your Black woman, the end. He was surrounded by disrespect. So sad. Dad. Someone said dad. Yes, that's how, if it he was in your life since you were 3 years old, he should be at least dad, daddy, father, something. Girl, who is Steven? I know that's not your daddy you talking about. See, this the stuff right there. Please be mindful of who you marry and who will be raising your children. I hate to reference this to Melody and Martell, but a lot of times the other person, and Ken and Trish, a lot of times the other person coming into your life doesn't want anything to do with the kids, right? Ariane, Martell doesn't want to do anything to do with the kids. So you should be happy if you have a guy, when you have a guy that comes in and actually wants to step up and be a father to your kids. Someone else said, Steven, you calling your daddy by his first name tells me everything I need to know. She didn't have any respect in that house. She didn't know the word of respect. Perfect example of child not knowing their place. Yep. Um, there is Paris Jackson, and then there is this. Adopted at the age of 3, living off his money, took his surname. Now he's Steven, and his elderly mother is Connie. Do white women just don't teach their kids any manners? Who calls their dad by his first name? That told me all I needed to know. Mom had a type, I see. Yes, because the daughter is mixed also. I don't think that is his biological daughter, which is why she's calling him Stephen. She is not. Her calling him Stephen is called needed to know, is all I needed to know. Yeah, it does show more of how that relationship really was than what was shown in pictures. Yeah, and that is my opinion. That's my commentary on that. You guys can leave comments below. Thank you again for watching and take care.